This next video will be in the voice of the observer and the actor in us, with our inner scientist reasoning through models. What are the 3 behaviors we are confronted with most commonly on large projects? Let's keep in mind the chain of stakeholders from the turnip model. Sometimes we don't take ownership of issues end to end. We need to be prodded to initiate, continue, conclude a communication related to an issue. What's the outcome? Hire the stakeholder's position who doesn't take ownership of issues end to end, or can't make timely decisions, higher the impact on everyone else. A higher stakeholder not taking ownership of a process end to end means dozens of others will be impacted down the line. If one of the team members is afflicted with no consistent ownership of issues end to end, micromanagement will eat up from the Scrum Masters, the Dev Leads capacity, the Program Managers, the VP's capacity, who will have to keep in mind yet another set of action items, whose owner is the person who has difficulties with ownership. If the weak decision maker twists issues or exaggerates their contribution to the issue, but we'll talk about this soon, that generates yet another set of action items, more overhead, more headache for the leader. That kind of attitude from a lead would erode on the morale and work ethic of a team. Here is another point. There are some stakeholders who are often unavailable or don't answer in chats or emails. What's the outcome? Some team members burn out because they have to compensate for the person who is often unavailable. Extra time is spent on searching for some replacement who will answer, solve the problem, take a decision. This generates overhead. The actor in us says, here is a third affliction some of us have. There are stakeholders who seem to go along with the decision while in a meeting with the team, then portray a different picture to management. To some extent, we are all guilty of that. We are all trying to please here and now, but must be mindful of creating too big of a gap between what we think, what we say, and what we will ultimately do. If it is a full-blown manipulative streak, that will generate overhead for everyone involved. What's the outcome? The presence of a manipulative streak will undermine the authority of multiple stakeholders, might gradually erode the friendly and empathic relationships we have on a project or a program now. Don't underestimate the power of manipulation in favor of technical skills for a specific candidate during a job interview. Even if the candidate has the perfect technical skills but is seen as manipulative during a first interview, it is probably best to find another candidate, even with a weaker technical background, but on whose honesty we can rely on. The combination of 2 of the above behaviors is not a twofold difficulty, but can even be a difficulty to the power of 4 or 6. I didn't do the exact calculations. The scientist in us says, no end-to-end ownership combined with a manipulative streak can result in a crash of the entire project if the owner of these 2 qualities happens to be a high stakeholder in the project. Now, imagine 2 or more stakeholders in that giant turnip chain possessing one of the above 3 afflictions. Well, it is the Swiss cheese risk management model illustrated right here. Each stakeholder's behavior is represented as a slice of cheese. Each slice of cheese has holes, naturally, just like our behavior is not always above reproach. Whenever there are gaps, holes, manipulation in several stakeholders' behavior, those gaps align to fail apart or a whole project altogether. However, just 1 or 2 stakeholders who behave with integrity and have fewer holes in their behavior will act as quality gatekeepers, and a project might still succeed. Are you one of those? In conclusion, here are 3 behaviors which hamper collaboration: no end-to-end ownership, inconsistency, unavailability, and manipulation. Of course, this is a non-exhaustive list. While I was drawing this conclusion during a workshop last week, someone from the audience exclaimed, Sounds just like my ex.